Okay, we've got Amit Chheda now joining in for a couple of technical ideas that you can watch out for, some interesting movers and shakers in the mid-cap and small-cap markets. Amit, first up, want to take your thoughts on some of these Jindal companies which have started moving again. I mean, we know what Jindal Poly did sort of over the course of the last 1 year. Jindal Worldwide, Jindal Photo Films, Jindal Poly, again these stocks are on the move. On the charts, are they showing up anything worthwhile?
Right now, I would just like to say that these Jindal Group companies have just started moving up from this good support levels. My view on the stocks would be like after this up move, if you see good volumes on the up move, I would say okay, stay invested. But yes, sometime or the other, the investors should book profits in these stocks. So, like in this case, like Jindal Photo is trading around 240 and has shooted up like in the last 2 days. I would say stay invested, book your profits around 280 levels, and keep your stop losses on the place.
Interestingly, on Jindal Worldwide, I don't know if you have a stock, that stock on the chart or not, but in November, middle of November, there was a huge downtake in which the stock moved from 305, fell all the way to 226. And there were massive volumes on that day. In the last 2 or 3 sessions, again, we've had these kind of massive volumes. By massive, we mean nearly 5 lakh shares. And the stock has moved from 213 and it's gone back to 294. Almost sounding a little scary.
Okay, so we can take it to that, to DB Realty, to any of the other traders. Yeah, certainly brought up an interesting point. I'm not talking about either of the two stocks, but usually what happens is if there is a pledge or something else, and usually when those guys sell off, you see such huge volumes getting created, and usually it be because retail people are buying. Usually they can't pick up all the stock at that point. That's why you have such a sharp fall. Rajesh, he wrote to me a couple of times. He said, "Why didn't you take my query?" You know, the petroleum secretary came on when you were speaking, so you asked me about Goodrick Tea. But first of all, I want to congratulate you, because what he did was he went and found the operating cash flows. He gave me the net profit number, the return on equity. Excellent stuff. Now I have to tell you what the chart is saying. Well, actually, if it breaks 140, which is where it's pretty close to, there's really no resistance right up to 160, if that's what you're looking for. But these are low volume charts. I would have loved to see a chart which was exceedingly strong, had the volumes to justify. But look, tea is hot right now. I mean, the tea stocks are hot. And 140, and certainly, I mean, there's if you're looking for a stop loss, maybe around 128 is where. But if it breaks 128, it's got no support whatsoever. Actually, sorry, there's a 120 support. So you may want to, all these low volume stocks must always have very, very good stop losses based on technicals.
Okay, we have to take a quick break. We're going to be back with lots of others, movers and shakers on the other side.
In association with Shriram Insight, Har Haath Mein Dhan Ki Rekha.
A mutual fund is the stepping stone to investing your money. Over 2 crore people in India have gained from investing through mutual funds. And if you want to know where and how to start investing, then Talk Funds is your destination. Talk Funds with me, Vivek Law. It's time we start talking.
Start instant messaging from your rooftop. Manage work emails from your bed. Facebook and Twitter on the go. Now, no matter where you are or what you're doing, stay connected to all those who matter on the new Nokia E5 with great prepaid data plans from Vodafone. Just SMS E5 to 111.
Long ago, the streets were packed with horses, producing millions of pounds of emissions every day. But then, our company founders had an idea that changed the way we move forever. Today's problem? Cars producing too much CO2. So it's time for a new great idea. Blue Efficiency is our way to emission-free mobility. Now available in over 85 Mercedes-Benz models.
Portfolio Management Service from Sushil Finance.
It's easy to get lost in a crowded place. Take my hand and sail through all the twists and turns of the market.
Looking at some more active stocks on the mid-cap and the small-cap side of the market, and something that's catching the eye yet again is Archie's. Now, we don't know if it's the holiday factor or the festive factor, but the fact is that the stock's been moving up quite smartly past couple of sessions. And interestingly, if you look at the volumes on Archie's today, they're still a little sketchy, but at least they've begun to pick up from where they were just a few sessions back. Amit, you want to take a quick look at Archie's and also at a Crew Boss, which second, third day running is on the move this week.
Yeah, Archie's is looking good on the charts right now because it's making constantly higher tops and higher bottoms. And like I just saw, it has retraced already 50% from where it made a high around 45. This chart looks good to me for the targets of 60, and maybe my stop loss is around 42 odd levels. The investors should stay invested in the stock and trade for an up move.
Okay, you got any thoughts on Crew Boss?
No, I'll have to check that, and I'll get back to you on that.
All right, Monica, you asked me about MCO. Here's my request, Monica. Don't just look at the price. If the volume starts to dry up in some of these smaller stocks, it may be time to fold up. You bought it at 80. I'm sorry, it's a very, very long trip to 80 right now. First, it has to get to 70 with some hope. If it does get there, then you may get an 80. And after 80, actually, it's got a very, very uphill task. So 80, it kind of gets stuck. So you perhaps bought it at some kind of a peak. On the downside, you should hope it doesn't go below 60 because I don't even have a support level. Now, maybe you bought it on some fundamental thought. If that's the case, don't get mixed up by this because this is all technical stuff. So you first tell me exactly why you bought this. And there's a third, my gut says that. Now, if it's a gut or the fundamentals, then you know exactly why you did this. If it's technicals, well, then the charts are basically saying if it collapses below 60, I can't even find a support, so I don't know where it's headed. And see, I'll tell you, sometimes these things, how can it be? Maybe now it's the base. Well, I'm sure you thought of it was a base at 70, then you thought it was a base at 60. Who knows where the base is? Something has to stop, right, at that point. You see when those submarine movies where a submarine gets shot, it keeps going down the abyss. And the guys are just waiting, where are we going to stop? Then suddenly, well, we don't know where that is, right? So, no. I wish I could say something differently. But 70, if it can get up, maybe you got a chance.
Okay. Amit, let's ask you from your end, any stocks that have caught your eye in the last 2 or 3 sessions, something that could be actually held on to even in the new year, hopefully to get a decent return?
Yeah, I was betting on Aurobindo Pharma in pharma sector. Now this stock looks really attractive to me as it's constantly making higher tops and higher bottoms again, which indicates a good uptrend for the stock. But my view would be for the stock somewhere around like we should buy around at the current market price and trade for the targets of 1440 and putting a stop loss around 1260 odd levels. Investor can accumulate the stock for the up move.
Okay, so mid-cap arena, what else is moving around? BF Utilities, you mentioned that's another stock that's up about 7%. Kiri Dye is holding on to its move. Something known as Henkel India is up about 7% as well. So a couple of movers and shakers in the market today.
Right, so you talked about Crew Boss, BOS, Crew BOS. Well, I'll tell you what, the resistance level for the stock is 160 if it can get back there. But the move now is suspect because it's happening on low volumes. It suddenly dropped off. So the risk that it will go back to its temporary support of 120 is heavy. And actually it's got a very, very strong support at 100. But if it collapses from there, well, God knows where it's heading. Okay, so this cannot be done without stop loss. But 160 is its resistance. That's what it needs to cross. However, the upside to me looks suspect only because the volumes have started to dry up.
Okay, let's take a very quick break. We'll be back with more stocks on the other side.
I'll help you identify what's right for your money and your investments, standing by you every step of the way.
करो
Karuturi Global, the world's largest exporter of roses with production bases in India, Kenya and Ethiopia, catering to markets in Europe, Middle East, Far East, Australia and New Zealand, is now venturing into its most ambitious project to cultivate 765,000 acres of land in Ethiopia. Karuturi Global. Global challenges, global opportunities.
Just in, the latest fight show, America is Watching. For the first time on Indian television. Raw power unleashed. 2 hours of non-stop action. Bellator. Fridays 10 p.m. Only on Big CBS Prime.
Of a sedan, the muscle of an SUV. Introducing the first Indian crossover, Tata Aria, a new breed.
We work at Telenor Group,
A global telecoms company
built around local communities,
built around long-term relationships, built around growth,
and collaboration,
built around commitment, built around change,
and innovation,
built around the future, built around me.
and me, and us.
We are the Telenor Group, and we are built around people.
We're looking at the active stocks on the mid-cap and small-cap street. And as of now, you can look at a couple of those names on the upside. Gammon Infra has finally made a move after a bit of a gap, 5% up on Gammon. And some of these sugar stocks had actually perked up towards the market close yesterday. All of them, Bajaj Hindustan, Sri Renuka, Balrampur, they were all up around 3.5% in the last half hour of trade. A little sign of that trend starting now has actually come on the screen. So Balrampur is up 2%, Bajaj Hindustan is now up 3% as well. EID Parry, of course, is up to 2.5%. There's a huge UBS buy call on EID Parry that we were referring to in the morning as well. Amit, sugar, any trading ideas here?
Yeah, I would like to give my bet on Renuka Sugars, which is trading at a nice comfortable level. An investor can actually buy the stock for the targets of 110 and 120 on upside, whereas the stop loss would be around 90 odd levels. The stock is interestingly making good volumes at the current levels and has been in a nice bull trend since last 6 months. So maybe I would bet on Renuka Sugars.
Okay.